Today, we're going to take a deep dive into one of history's greatest empires, the Mughals of India. We're going to explore their incredible rise, their golden age, and the reasons behind their pretty dramatic fall. But this isn't just a history lesson. The real question we're getting at is universal. How does an empire get built, and how does it all come crashing down? The Mughal Empire is just a fascinating case study, packed with lessons about power, strategy, and leadership that are still so relevant today. So our story starts where a lot of empires do, on the battlefield. The founding of the Mughal Empire was really a story of ambition, technology, and a dramatic shift in power. The year is 1526. At the Battle of Panipat, a ruler named Babur faces the much larger army of the Sultan of Delhi. This one battle would mark the very beginning of the Mughal Empire. But the question is, how on earth did the smaller army pull off such a decisive victory? Well, the answer lies in technology and strategy. Babur introduced artillery and modern military tactics to the battlefield, something his opponents just weren't ready for. It was a true game changer that completely upended the traditional ways of war. After Babur, a line of powerful emperors followed. This timeline here gives you a roadmap of the dynasty. We start with the founder, Babur, then Humayun, Akbar, Jahangir, Shah Jahan, and finally Aurangzeb. Pay special attention to Akbar and Aurangzeb because they really represent the two most critical turning points in the empire's story. Winning on the battlefield is one thing, but building an empire that lasts for centuries, that's a whole different challenge. And that brings us to the next key figure in our story. So while Babur laid the first stone, it was really his grandson, Akbar, who built the empire's foundation. He understood that military might wasn't enough. He needed to create a system of governance that was stable and could earn the loyalty of his very diverse population. Akbar's success was built on three key pillars. First, an efficient and organized administration to govern his vast territory. Second, a well-planned land revenue system, the Mansabdari system, which guaranteed a steady income for the empire. And third, and maybe most importantly, a policy of religious tolerance, which was essential for unifying the diverse peoples of the subcontinent. The stability and wealth that Akbar created set the stage for the empire's next phase, an absolutely incredible cultural explosion. This was the Golden Age. Under Akbar's successors, especially Jahangir and Shah Jahan, the Mughal Empire became a global center for art, culture, and architecture. The focus shifted from conquest and administration to creating a lasting cultural legacy. And what a legacy it was. We're talking about wonders like the Taj Mahal, a timeless symbol of love and architectural perfection, the imposing Red Fort in Delhi, and the incredibly intricate and beautiful tradition of miniature painting. These aren't just buildings or artworks, they are symbols of an empire at its absolute peak. But, as history teaches us time and again, after the peaks come the valleys. The very policies that had built the empire would soon be reversed, kicking off a long and painful decline. This slide really shows the turning point so clearly. On one side, you have Akbar's successful formula, tolerance, flexible governance, and a growing treasury. On the other side, Aurangzeb's approach, rigid religious policies that alienated many, constant exhausting wars, and a treasury that was being drained dry. It was the perfect storm for an empire's decline. Now, it's worth noting that Aurangzeb was a powerful and capable military commander. However, his focus on constant warfare and his reversal of Akbar's inclusive policies created deep cracks in the empire's foundation. He stretched the empire's resources to their absolute limit. After Aurangzeb, the pace of decline just accelerated, leading to the final chapter of the empire and the critical lessons it left behind. The collapse happened on multiple fronts. Aurangzeb's successors were weak and struggled to hold the vast empire together. This led to internal conflicts and rebellions. At the same time, powerful regional forces like the Marathas were rising to challenge Mughal authority. And finally, a new player entered the game, the British East India Company, which expertly exploited the empire's weaknesses. It all culminates in one year, 1857. After a major rebellion, the last Mughal emperor was deposed by the British, and the empire that had dominated the subcontinent for over 300 years was officially over. So here's the key takeaway from the story of the Mughal Empire. Its strength wasn't just in its armies, but in its systems and its ability to adapt. When it abandoned that administrative skill and flexibility that was its foundation,
Its downfall was really just a matter of time.
And this brings us right back to our central question. The story of the Mughals shows us that power built on inclusion and smart governance can thrive, while power that turns to rigidity and conflict is bound to crumble. It begs the question, how relevant is this lesson about administration, tolerance, and flexibility for the world we live in today?